candidate of the All Progressive Congress, Senator Monday Okpebholo, and his People's Democratic Party counterpart, Dr. Asue Ighodalo, were on Sunday absent at the debate organized by the Edo State Council Nigerian Union of Journalists, while the Labour Party candidate, Olumide Akpata, his People's Redemption Party candidate, Patience Ndidi-Key, and the Action Democratic Congress, Derek Izedonmwen, were present. Akpata condemned in strong terms the no-show of other candidates, just as the Nigerian Elections Debate Group, while condemning the development, called on Nigerians to insist that those aspiring to govern them must be made to be accountable to them. In his speech, Akpata described the failure of the APC and PDP candidates to honor the invitation to debate as an outright disregard, not only to the NUJ and BON, but people of Edo, urging residents to call out the candidates and use their votes to do justice to them at the poll. Akpata, who claimed the two candidates hoped on violence and manipulations to win the governorship election, and that is why they did not show up, also charged media organizations and executives to condemn the action by the two candidates in their editorials, writing, among others, he wondered why a candidate should intend to govern a state without coming to tell the people what he has for them. He said, Asue Ighodalo comes from the private sector, as I do, but if I may ask, as chairman of the board of several companies, did he employ any intending employee without an interview? This is simple logic. But because they intend to win elections through violence and manipulation and not telling the people what they have for them, they feel there is no need for coming out to tell Edo people why they should vote for them. This must stop. I implore the media to condemn this. I expect to see headlines from tomorrow condemning this total disrespect for Edo people. On her part, PRP's Ndidi said people are giving these two political parties undue regard, and that is why they have taken the people for granted. While the ADC candidate, Izedonmwen, said, it's quite unfortunate that the two political parties copied what Tinubu did in 2023, where he declined to honor debate invite but still won the election, urging Edo people to stand against this. In his opening remarks, the executive secretary of NEDG, Edo Guber, condemned the non-appearance of the candidates. He said, despite all efforts by the Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria, Nigeria Elections Debate Group, and Nigeria Union of Journalists to organize this platform, a crucial opportunity for the people of Edo State to hear directly from those seeking their votes. Early this morning, handlers of the two major political party candidates called to inform us that their choosing candidates have chosen to stay away at this late hour in our preparation. This is an act of disrespect, not only to this event, but more critically to you, the voters. Jackson Lekojo, let me start with you. What do you make of this story?
It's just, if they have committed any offenses against morality, not against the law.
Okay.
There is no law in this land that said they must be present at any debate, organized by any form of organization. And let me once say that when people are setting precedents, if the president is favoring us, we applaud it. But a time will come, it will no longer favor, we begin to frown at it. General Muhammadu Buhari retired. He contested for about 4 or 5 times before he later won. You understand? He never attended any debate. He was not doing anything bad to his followers and to his supporters. The incumbent president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria today, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, refused to attend any of the debate in the last election. Even the one at the Chatham House in London, Mr. President, instead of him to answer questions, he distributed the questions for some of his followers to answer on his behalf. And I've never seen where people will go for exam and you call your children, your friend, or other to come and write it for you. So if the former President Muhammadu Buhari disobey or dishonor public interview, public debate, and the incumbent president did same, I am not supporting these people for them to dishonor it. If Asue Ighodalo was there and Okpebholo was not there, I wouldn't be surprised because of one thing or the other that may not allow Okpebholo to, you understand, to be there. But for the two of them not to be there, I think they dishonor the people of Edo State, they dishonor the journalism industries that set up this thing, but then they have not committed any crime.
All right.
Yes.
Chizzy, what do you have to say to this story?
I think he's done justice to this whole thing. In the first instance, for me, I hate this Chatham House thing. I don't want to talk about it because for me, it's relics of colonialism. I mean, why would we go to Chatham House to begin to talk about it? Even though it's not a debate. They can do anything they want there in Chatham House. But you see, it's been a precedent that people don't, especially those who feel they will win, don't actually regard this debate. But you see, it also goes a long way to say that the media or all of us were not educated politically. Because if we're educated politically, that's why questions are going to ask. We need to all cycle and begin to listen. But then, the entire Nigeria, let me not use the word entire Nigeria, especially the elites, including those governors, those people who didn't attend, you saw them listening to the debate of the UX. They will sit and listen and say, oh, this man said, look at what he said here. But in their own, they won't come. You know, the reason is simple. We don't use what people say. We don't use those things to mark, to judge our voters. As I talk with you, the decisions for the voters have been decided. So for them.
So in their mind, if it has been decided,
it has been determined. They have been decided. So they nearly. If you look at those who came, I'm not trying to judge. If you look at those who came, you'll be shocked that I'm just knowing about them today. From here. But you already know these two other political parties. So no wonder they will say, why am I coming? Why don't I just do something? Because they believe or they feel that the voters will win. But until we begin to be educated enough politically to begin to determine, look at what happened in 1993 election between MKO and King Guber. I mean, MKO and Tofa. And then King Guber, the vice president, and Onu. It was a fantastic one. This country, you knew that these people were coming to do something. But here, we no longer regard that. And I thought that we are going back further than 1993. If in 1993 that happened, I thought that by now, it should have been, you see, if we begin to judge by debate, especially, you will see that a lot of people will naturally not contest.
A lot of people are not even qualified.
They will naturally not contest, yes. It's because you don't judge. People will not talk, people will not come to campaign, and then we'll vote for them. In Rivers, they will vote for Singh who didn't come to talk to us. So it's like that. We didn't know him until he became governor. So that's what happens. So it's a case of people not, so they can just hire somebody. Do you know that in Abia, that the former Theodore Oji was actually in cell when he won election?
Yes.
Yeradua was in the hospital in far away Nigeria when he won election. Who does that? That means that we are joking here. Who does that? For me, he said, well, they didn't commit any crime. For me, I say it's a sin. Because see, until we begin to take things seriously, the same people who will not attend this thing will begin to talk after they become dark. Because at that point, you are using executive power or executive fears. There's this impetus that comes along offices that you now begin to say something. So after all, what are we going to even look at you? You see, in this debate, we were supposed to say, this guy said, this guy said, this guy said. Tell me, when they were contesting this election, how many of them did you actually know what they were coming for before the time?
So it's difficult to hold them accountable.
Yes, and again, I will accuse you guys, Chairman Media. It's not about the man who is saying or speaking good English or communicating well. It's not about the man. It's about the man who can pay. And that's the people you follow about.
You don't even advertise them. How many times have they brought this news to the fore? You guys are waiting for, but yes, of course, you need to do the this thing. But at least I think that sometimes people make news. We can create news. Those persons we are talking about now, no matter what they want to say, you know, there was this debate that happened in Nigeria. And it was a fantastic one where you saw Pastor Chris and all of that, you know, debate Chris Oketie and all of that. To the extent that Nigerians were playing Chris Oketie's tape on the street. But yet, did he multiply to vote? Did he come up to vote? He didn't come late to vote. That's just the thing. We are so poor. We are so sentimental. In fact, I don't understand what to say. We are follow people. You will be shocked that 80% of those who are following the APC and PDP candidates do not even have reason to follow them in the first place. They're just following them because their Oga somewhere is going to be Oga somewhere, and Oga somewhere is going to be that. That's all. Without even knowing what the man has in stock for them. It's very unfortunate.
All right.